This is the Barbados Today evening news for Thursday, May 17. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. Our top story this evening, the Democratic Labour Party is promising to promote food security through agriculture, build the renewable energy sector and modernize the public sector if it forms the next government. The DLP is set to announce its plans to take the country forward over the next 5 years when it launches its manifesto tonight. But the event was upstaged last night when the official document was leaked to the opposition Barbados Labour Party, whose leader, Mia Motley, presented it to supporters at a meeting last night. Campaign manager of the DLP, Robert Bobby Morris, says he is confident that no member of his party leaked the document.
Yes, it's shocking that the leader of the opposition is seen to be publicly using the DLP manifesto before the launch by the DLP of this manifesto. We have no knowledge of how to obtain that manifesto. But to me, it is in breach of a customer practice. A party is allowed to provide this manifesto to the entire public, and then there's engagement on that manifesto. And it reminds me of a tendency of the opposition Barbados Labour Party to parade that they have acquired cabinet documents and other official documents and to parade them in the public. This all demonstrates some difficulty in understanding how law and order is practiced.
And the Barbados Labour Party says the leaked DLP manifesto does not contain any plans to rescue the economy. The party's economic advisor, Ryan Strawn, says the 56-page document is lacking in new ideas and does not warrant any serious analysis. He told a news conference at the BLP headquarters this afternoon that the document is more of what he called warmed-over pie-in-the-sky policies, which have failed in the last 10 years.
There's nothing that stands out, simply because there's nothing of substance here that actually addresses the current economic situation in Barbados. There are no ideas here. That's the reality. So you can go back, I'm sure you can go back and look at the previous manifestos, and you will see some similarities between this one and the previous two. But as I said, the question for the people of this country is exactly what has the Democratic Labour Party delivered out of their manifestos that you can feel confident that you should vest the interests of Barbados again for another 5 years. And so the short answer is no, there's nothing new here that in my mind would inspire or excite young people.
Barbados Labour Party candidate for St. James North, Edmund Hinkson, is accusing the Democratic Labour Party administration of neglecting his constituency because it is a BLP stronghold. Hinkson was addressing a meeting at Sion Hill last night, and he said, as an example, that although his constituents pay their road tax, the roads are now in a state of disrepair.
It was a road tax increased by 40%, even though the roads still not repaired. And you know, some of your Sodom, Raffit's Road, to call the ones that are closed here, not repaired. I wrote the Minister of Transport and Public Works asking for those roads to be repaired. He called me about a year and a half ago saying, Eddie man, we can repair a couple roads, man. Come on, give him a couple roads. Why name Sodom? I said Sodom needs to be repaired. And a road in Aston Hall. And his response to me was, he thought Sodom would take too long to repair. I said, man, but you ain't serious.
2 tourists were treated for injuries at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital following an accident involving a tour bus at Cleavers Hill, St. Joseph, earlier today. The bus was carrying 31 adults and 2 children. Passengers were on a scenic tour organized by Forster and Ince Cruise Services when it crashed into a wall. Passengers said it was a scary experience, but they praised the efforts of the driver and tour guide. CEO Martin Ince also had high praise for the driver.
Guests were on a tour from Freedom of the Seas, and from what I'm understanding, the brakes had failed coming down this hill just behind us, and all of the passengers praised the driver, Hamden. Hamden has been driving with Fastenings for at least close on 12 years and never had a major accident. And certainly all of the guests were very thankful and congratulatory on the way he handled it. Knowing that the brakes had failed, he used his experience and he actually went into one of the walls coming down the hill and actually stopped the bus as he interacted on a parallel basis with the wall coming down the hill. The bus has been quite badly damaged, you know, there are 2 guests that went to hospital in an ambulance. I understand that there are minor injuries, but you know, it was precautionary to send the guests down to the hospital in the 2 ambulances. All of the other guests had minor injuries, scrapes and what have you.
Agriculture Minister David Estwick is in mourning tonight following the death of his mother. Estwick will contest the next week's election in the St. Philip West constituency on a DLP ticket.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
One night, one winner, only one team can deliver. Balance, comprehensive, unrivaled coverage. Barbados Today, Capital Media HD 99.3 and 6 Gear Studios. Don't miss election night on www.facebook.com/Barbados Today, on www.barbadostoday.bb, live on www.capitalmediahd.com and on www.facebook.com/Capital Media HD.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back with news from the region. CARICOM Secretary General Erwin Larocque says there is still much work to be done to advance the single market and economy. Larocque was addressing a meeting of the grouping's Council for Trade and Economic Development in Guyana yesterday. We get more in this report from HGP Nightly News.
CARICOM countries have been wrestling each other over the formation of a regional free trade area since the signing of the Treaty of Chaguaramas in 1973, but progress has been slow. CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Erwin Larocque pointed out on Wednesday that while there has been notable progress in advancing CARICOM's single market and economy, much more remains to be done by member states. The Council for Trade and Economic Development, COTED, has one of the most expansive mandates of all the community organs and plays a crucial role in advancing the integration movement. Secretary General Ambassador Erwin Larocque reiterated COTED's pivotal role during his address at the Council's 46th meeting Wednesday.
The operation of the CSME has been emphasized repeatedly by our heads of government as the vehicle for achieving sustainable economic growth and development for the community. It is undoubtedly the primary platform for building international competitiveness and economic resilience for the region.
The Secretary General stated that through this 2-day COTED meeting, there can be focused attention on economic development and continuance of periodic assessments, which the Council has undertaken over time.
And further afield, political prisoners held in one of Venezuela's most notorious prisons have staged an uprising. Relatives say the inmates who are being held at the headquarters of the country's secret service took over part of its cell blocks. Their action came after one political prisoner was beaten. The pressure group PINAL says more than 300 political prisoners are being held in Venezuela. And that's news this evening. Remember, there's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also sign up for BT's WhatsApp news alerts, and you can subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Marie Claire Williams. Good evening.